Hello everybody, how we doing? Welcome back to my channel. This is your Highland girl with her stories. So how are we doing? Thank you for liking, sharing and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Here you might say, oh, where is she? Again, this one is coming to you live out of Chicago. Okay, so I am part of a program. I'm part of a program that we've been working on for a few years now, and oh, it's so refreshing to see we work on something and it's actually showing up, and you actually go into the doctor's office and you see materials that you worked on and suggestions that you've made, and it's a beautiful thing. So working on this project, when when Ted punched me in my eye in 2019, the last part, late 2019 to now, until now, I didn't know what was going on, and I think I did a channel about not knowing what's going on with my eyes. And so with that, this thing was born out of it. This council meeting was born out of a disaster. So you hear somebody said, what the devil meant for your harm, God turned it to a greater good. So yeah, that's what he actually is doing with me. So after finding out that I'm struggling with this thing called TED, thyroid eye disease, I ended up in a program where these people was helping me with money. Don't we all need it? We need some money, right? And I needed, I want to say at the time, about 80 grand. Where can you come up with 80 grand? Couldn't come up with 80 grand. So my doctor recommended me to take a certain medicine, and I couldn't afford it, but they have a program that they were working with to fund the money and for me to take this drug that would help me slow down the movements of the eyes, take the swelling off, because after I took so much steroids, it didn't have any use to me anymore, and taking all of that did not allow me to run like a cheetah. So that was a waste of my health, and I was going down, and the highs were going bad. And 2 years ago, I was losing my sight, and it so happened that this thing called Tapeza turned up, and I was able to take it to take the swelling down, because as I said, steroid wasn't helping anymore, and I needed my sight. So I had to, I took this drug. When I took it, it actually bring back my eyes to where it didn't look like anything was wrong with it. But I am learning now that thyroid eye disease is an ongoing thing. It's not something, to me, curable. You can treat it, and you can do the best you can with it to save your eyesight and learn how to navigate and cope. But you also heard about people with the same thing that's dying because they don't know how to get the treatment. They don't know they don't know about it. And I was talking to a young woman the other day, and we're talking about thyroid issues, and she said, thyroid? What's that? And I was like, okay, you have it. We all have one. And sometimes they hacked out, and sometimes they don't work anymore, and sometimes they overwork or underwork. So I just have to start to telling her about her thyroid. Then I have to explain a lot of times what's going on with my eyes, and it used to bother me to where when people would take a double take on me, to where I just now use it as a joke, like, oh, I see my eyes is flirting with you. How are you today? And that open up, it break the ice, and it also open up a conversation around this thing. So our aim is to get it into the doctor's office. Our aim is to get it in the doctor's office. So at one of the doctor that I went, I think in Plantation in Florida, I actually saw our work is been used in there, the paperwork, and so still coming up with other ways, because especially some men don't like to really ask questions, and if they're going through certain things, they don't want to really tell the doctor because they have something called ego. And to me, ego is hedging God out, but to each their own, you know. And not every man will walk into the doctor's office and explain to the details what is going on. So we were coming up with stuff spot where the doctor can spot what's going on. I'm using a camera thing and it's moving. So spot, you know, for the doctor to ask certain questions, and then the conversation will open up to as to what is going on with you, and you know, just breaking the ice and getting help, because a lot of people still to this day don't realize what is going on. Someone told me the other day that his sister died from it because nobody knew what was going on, and the heart overwork, and they're like, yeah, can it kill you? It can kill you, and it can blind you. Especially when a doctor is telling you that you're aging, and so that's why the changes in your eyes, or your tear duct is closed, and they have to put a little stencil in it, because I have two stencils, and my tear duct has gone to them because it was black and it wasn't producing enough tear, because they actually did not know what was happening. So yeah, I'm just sharing with you the journey on my thyroid eyes. And when you watch my videos and you say, well, her eyes look different. I saw a young woman the other day that we worked together in Jamaica at Standardizing, and I was in a store, and she saw me, but because my eyes are different, it was throwing her off. But when I start saying something to my sister, because my sister was there, and when I started saying something to my sister, she heard my voice, and she walked up to me and she said, I know you. Are you Janet Blair? And I look at her and I said, oh yeah. And then her face also came back to me. And she said, I was watching you, I was looking at you, but you look different. And I wasn't sure if it was you, and I didn't want to say anything. But then I heard your voice, and I remember your voice. So yes, it takes so much from us. This thyroid, I think it takes so much. And if you have a low self-esteem, you will lock yourself away from the public. I learned over the period of time now that I am actually struggling with it. I never said I have it. I'm struggling with it. But I'm struggling with it. I learned how to better cope. And when I see people taking double take, I smile. And the person that I am, the comedic side of me, will ask them, which of the eye is flirting with you now? You know, instead of trying to hide behind dark glasses all the time and afraid to let anybody look at you. I am not perfect. I'm far from being that, but I know that it actually helps to open up and speak about this monster, because it is a monster. It actually work on your eyes until you look like a monster. I remember a little boy was saying, Daddy, Daddy, look, something is wrong with her eyes. And I'm telling you, it's not a great feeling. It's really, really not a great feeling knowing that you were once had two beautiful eyes and then they change. And some days I just don't know what to do, because as I said in some of my videos coming out, I said I woke up in the morning, or some morning when I wake up, I get up, I woke up, and I jump out of bed. My eyes is saying, oh no, where you think you're going? Nowhere, sit back down. Because it feel like someone just grabbed me and just pulling my eyes from my head, you know? And it is a struggle to navigate around those things. So I cannot be late for anything. So I have to set a time to get up, and knowing that I might jump up and my eyes be saying, no, I'm not ready. And there's nothing you can do besides go back and said, okay, the eyes isn't waking up yet. So just cool, just, you know, pray. How about that? So, ooh, this is so much that I can say around this thyroid, I think. But my main concern was how the doctors in this day and age did not know what it is. 30-40 years ago, people was just walking around looking like something, like someone constantly squeezing their head and their eyes bulbing, and everybody was putting, oh, she have gaita, or they said, okay, they didn't put it as thyroid eye disease. It was Graves. And so Graves and thyroid eyes, it's two different entity. It's funny because you're saying, okay, what is the Graves disease cause it? But at the same time, the Graves disease can be dormant in your system and you don't know until it's showing up in your eyes. And then when it's showing up in your eyes, they don't know what's wrong with your eyes. They figure out you have Graves disease, but what's going on with the eyes? So all of those little things, you know, come into play with why I'm in Chicago and why a part of Amgen that used to be Horizon, now it's a paradigm shift, so it's shift to Amgen, and we are working together as a team to help others out there, educate others, and to self-advocate for, you know, just self-advocate. So yes, I'm here, and as I said, I am happy to be a part of something big. I'm happy to know that suggestions are taken seriously, and now the doctors will have a spot in their doctor's office, which is saying patient with thyroid eye disease stated as an increased concern about their appearance. So ask your parents, your patient, if they are self-conscious about attending events or having their pictures taken. There's a lot of time when I love to take pictures. So with that, it's an open conversation. You ever went to the doctor and you wait for 40 minutes and they come in and they look at you and they tell you some bull? Them tell you some bull. You know what I'm saying? Some bull on the sugar iced tea circle. Yeah. Yeah. So this is created so they now can ask questions and they now can start digging into something. Don't get me wrong, not every doctor is going to want to use it, but if they're wise enough and they really, really want to help their patients, they will start asking questions. Well, some doctors did not really know anything about it. It was new to them, and so it is part of something that we want to implement and trying to see how well it will go about getting out there, right? So again, if you go to your doctor's office and then this is showing up in there, then kudos to the doctor who really want to help their patients. Last September, we actually did this thing. It's an old thing, and this having to be for the doctors as well, and patients, and stuff like that, and to see how well you're coping, to see what question to ask, and stuff like that. So glad to be a part of something that can actually help somebody else. And this company don't only surrounded by thyroid eye disease, but any immune disease, autoimmune disease that they worked on to help other people. So as I said, I'm here, and they said when I did not dash way, but somebody else said when I did not call it dopey. So with my eyes looking like this, I am not. I'm in front camera because I have my YouTube. So I am on camera a lot, and I just wanna, be hoping and not so closed up and not talking about what's going on and how can I better help somebody to, I don't know what's going on my hair, I'm always fixing it. One of the things is like men who don't want to say what's going on, and so if you go to maybe a eye doctor and they might ask you how severe you feel, is it mild, is it moderate, is it severe, mild, moderate, or severe, good, managing, or discouraging, because sometimes when you're feeling sick, you really don't want to say anything, you don't want to talk, and sometimes you forget. You said, okay, when I go to the doctor, I am going to ask this question. And when you get to the doctor, you forgot. And so the doctor may have you waiting in a waiting room for half an hour and see you for 5 minutes or 5 seconds. And then you said, oh, it wasn't long enough. And by the time he came in, I forgot to say this or to ask this question. So now, as a group of people, we're coming up with things that you can ask your doctor, and if the doctor doesn't know, then we can figure it out together, because each one teach one, right? Each one teach one. And as I said, we're not dead, not dash away, and we're not dead, not call it dopey. Right. So they use this picture as in after the treatment that I got. This is not my picture, so it's just something that we came up with, where they use after the picture, and this was before, and this is how my eyes used to look, and worse. Steady it, see how that? So now we are actually coming up with things so the doctors can start asking questions and patients can actually start saying something, because trust me, the eyes, you only have these 2 pairs, and some days when it's not working the way you think that they should work, it is depressing. Come a little bit closer. See how the 2 eyes look? I'm just sharing, because I'm just sharing. And some days it feel like someone just maliciously toss a bunch of sand in them. And I don't know who you may have and who you may know, but this is something to really think about, and ask your doctor the correct question. And we're hoping that the doctors will actually jump on board, because not every doctor's office have it. I saw one doctor in Plantation that have it, and I was so excited, because when you work on something, you just want to see it manifest. You just don't want to go and talk and you know, you go and you tell her this, da, 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 and then it's still not showing. So, you know, as again, thank you that you pull up your chair, and thank you for watching, liking, and come back. What good, you're here?